Well, good evening there. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Friday Briefing, and my name is Betty Kello. So glad that you could join us this evening as we take a look at some of these stories that have been taking center stage right here in the country. So glad that you could join us tonight. Of course, this is the only way to shut down the week. And if you've had a bad day, I promise to make it a bit better tonight. All right, so of course, we have the latest news. Like I mentioned, we'll also be having Willis, the word master, joining us from Kisumu. So you can start tweeting me those words that you want us to tackle tonight. But my guest anchor, let me just welcome him on set. Karibu sana, the latest mega millionaire. Say hi.
Hi, I'm good.
Say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone.
So this is Samuel Abisai, 221 million shillings.
Yeah.
How is life so far? Things must have changed somehow.
Yes, a little bit.
A little bit?
Yes.
What has changed since the time this was announced?
Excitement, now I know so many people, so many economy.
I saw someone tweet you and say like, Pole sana, I catch contacts with you, but now, I'm very sorry, now I'm ready to come back and be your friend. So you've said that, what wamezidi sasa.
Yes.
When you received that phone call from SportPesa CEO Ronald, what went through your mind? Did you believe it?
Yeah,
I would not believe it.
I didn't believe it until now. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Yes, but maybe after some time I'll believe it.
Well,
seriously,
you have to believe it.
Yes, yeah.
So the other thing is that, have you been getting phone calls from, those rellas from Kakamega?
Yes.
What are they saying?
They're just proud of me.
Wamechinja
kuku kama ngapi? Wamechinja kuku bwana, ngoja kesho, baby, we are having a homecoming.
He even has a homecoming.
Wamengoja sana.
All right, so we'll be getting to hear from Samuel Abisai. We also have the SportPesa CEO Ronald Karauri here, and he's going to be joining us later. So start texting me or tweeting me those questions that you have for Samuel. I've seen so many people telling you how you should spend the cash.
Yes.
Okay.
So many people.
So many people.
Yes.
I have an idea. All right. So let's have a look at the highlights, and let's get this started. Karibu.
Yes, thank you.
Nilisikia asubuhi daktari mkubwa akisema watu wenye waiko na wenye wanajiweza wote watolewe nje waende.
The doctors in South Rift, especially Nakuru County, are boycotted duty starting from today.
Signs of yet another potential crisis in the health sector as nurses demand for their delayed allowances.
I stand here ready to drop my last sweat and commit my last breath to the final liberation of Kenya.
This is the change you cannot stop. Because you stop this change, you are messing up the country.
ODM delegates endorsed the NASA power-sharing deal as Raila and Kalonzo promised to fight tooth and nail to the ballot.
We want to have one party that unites Kenya.
Tukishirikiana pamoja, mimi sina shaka that Kenya will be an island of prosperity.
President Uhuru Kenyatta meets nominees of his Jubilee Party after the just concluded party primaries.
As I've said that the money, the 17 or 18 million was found in my house. No money was found in my house.
And Swazuri now denies investigators found 18 million shillings in his house.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Our sign language interpreter is Meresha Uwiti. Now, the Political Parties Dispute Tribunal has announced the nomination of Wavinya Ndeti to vie for the Machakos County gubernatorial seat on a Wiper party. The tribunal has further dismissed the win of ODM Chairman John Mbadi in the recently concluded Suba constituency primaries. Well, Ken Aseka puts this into perspective.
It's bad news for Wavinya Ndeti and John Mbadi after the Political Parties Dispute Tribunal nullified their victory in the just concluded primaries. According to the tribunal, Wiper Party and ODM have 48 and 72 hours respectively to conduct repeat nominations.
We issue a declaration to the effect that the nomination exercise for the position of Governor of Machakos conducted on 30th of April, having been undertaken or continued in disobedience of the orders of the tribunal, issued on the 28th of April is null and void and of no effect in law.
In its ruling, the tribunal says Wiper Party conducted the nominations for the gubernatorial seat against a court order stopping the polls. Wavinya's sole competitor Bernard Kiala obtained the court order, citing a scheme by the party to lock him out of the race.
The agreement is valid, and I'm a bona fide member of Wiper, and they have ordered for us to go for nomination in the next 48 hours. We are ready.
And it's not a win for Kiala as a person, it's a win for those people who believe in democracy, it's a win for the people of Machakos. At least now, they have been given a fair chance to go back and inform the people in choosing who is going to fly the Wiper ticket.
In the April 30th nomination, Wavinya was declared winner with the 299,312 votes against Kiala's 4,663. Results that Machakos governor has described as cooked.
It is clear that Wiper is getting desperate to the extent of defying court orders and cooking figures.
Meanwhile, the political future of Suba MP John Mbadi now hangs in balance after today's ruling. The tribunal has ordered the Orange Party to conduct repeat nominations in 7 polling stations in Suba constituency. The ODM National Elections Board awarded Mbadi the ticket against the party's directive. This was after Karoli Omondi contested the results, citing massive election malpractices. While the Machakos governorship race will test Kalonzo Musyoka's influence in his home turf, the Suba parliamentary seat remains a puzzle for ODM leader Raila Odinga as 2 of his allies face off. Kenaseka for KTN News.
As it was expected, the ODM National Delegates Conference endorsed Raila Odinga as a NASA presidential candidate with Kalonzo Musyoka as his running mate. And the NASA principals had a common message that they will do whatever it takes to defeat Jubilee at the ballot.
Once again, the Kasarani Gymnasium witnessed the endorsement of Raila Odinga as presidential candidate as he throws his hat in the ring for the 4th time.
Thank you. Thank you, honorable members.
This time round with the bigger alliance, NASA. It was ODM's National Delegates Convention ratifying his candidature after getting a nod from his co-principals in the National Super Alliance.
This nomination today, I pledge to revive the Kenyan dream and keep it alive for our children and grandchildren.
This being what many say could be his final political bullet, Odinga gave an undertaking to his party ODM, his alliance NASA, and the country.
I stand here ready to drop my last sweat and commit my last breath to the final liberation of Kenya. This ticket has come at a defining moment for our country. Our economy is in turmoil. The cost of living is beyond reach for millions of our citizens.
His co-principals Kalonzo Musyoka and Musalia Mudavadi urging Kenyans to throw their weight behind the opposition alliance.
This is the change you cannot stop. Because you stop this change, you are messing up the country.
Sisi tunasema katiba inalenga vizuri kwamba kura zitahesabiwa katika constituency. Wasiwasi yako ni nini?
Wakati huu ni wakati wetu wa kusema liwe liwalo, Raila will be president.
The results that will be announced and shall be announced in 290 constituencies must remain as the valid results for our presidential candidate.
As ODM was put on the spot to ensure the coalition emerges victorious after August 8th.
ODM, nyinyi tumemkabidhi candidate wenu jukumu kubwa. So, to whom much is given, much will be expected. You have to protect. The rest of the NASA family is looking up to you.
We are certain, by grace of our Creator, you shall take us to Canaan.
The other two NASA principals, Moses Wetangula and Isaac Ruto, did not attend the event, as Wetangula was said to be in Kampala, while Bomet Governor Isaac Ruto remained in his South Rift backyard. So for the fourth time, Raila Odinga gets a nod from his party members to contest for presidency. But perhaps what many never expected was the chilling political message from his running mate Kalonzo Musyoka to his ODM party, that to whom much is given, much is expected, given that ODM will be expected to work an extra mile to ensure that NASA bags that much-needed victory to their supporters. Duncan Hemba, KTN News at Kasarani.
All right, and the developments at Kasarani today bring us to a big question tonight, and we'd like to hear your thoughts on it. We're asking you, does NASA seem to have a convincing strategy to unseat President Uhuru Kenyatta? That is our big question tonight. We'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Does NASA seem to have a convincing strategy to unseat President Uhuru Kenyatta? We'd like to hear your thoughts. Hashtag Friday Briefing, or the number to text in is 22155, and I will be taking a look at your responses throughout the show tonight. Now, a looming crisis may yet again face the country's health sector following numerous threats by health workers in the country to down their tools due to unpaid allowances. The allowances were agreed upon during a return to work formula signed in March. The agreement affects about 17 health cadres and was to be part of a deal to end a 2-week strike sustained by clinicians and public health officers. Well, Timothy Ateno has these details.
It's the face of despair that greets you when you visit any public health facility in Nakuru County. Health workers here have downed their tools, decrying unpaid dues accrued over the last 5 months. A March 16th deal signed between health officials, the Ministry of Health and the Council of Governors was to award medics from 17 different cadres allowances that would cost Treasury 5.2 billion shillings annually. The allowances, backdated from January this year, would have health workers receive a health workers allowance ranging from 7,500 shillings for those between job groups D to F, 20,000 shillings for those in job groups G to L, and 15,000 shillings for those in job groups M and above. Months later, nothing has been forthcoming.
Some people are not doing their work at the public service management and at the payroll. So far, nothing has been acted upon.
Regions that have paid all their arrears, and we don't see why some counties will be an exception. And according to the return to work formula we had after the strike, it was clear that we were supposed to be paid these allowances. In fact, the new increment from January.
Despite some counties managing to pay their arrears from March this year, Nyeri, Kisii, Kisumu, Taita Taveta, Nairobi, Kericho, Isiolo, Moranga and Narok are yet to comply. But it appears Nyamira County has been the worst affected. Clinicians and health workers in the county haven't received a dime since pen was put to paper to have the dues paid. A memo in KTN News' possession, dated the 26th of April, written by the county to the workers, insists that the funds to pay out the allowances have yet to be received. Another letter to the health workers, written by the same county just yesterday, says that nothing has been forthcoming from Treasury even after several complaints. Douglas Busire is the county chief health officer and the man who wrote both memos. He says indeed the county has goodwill to honor the pledge, but simply lacks the funds to do it.
We were expecting the money to come from the National Ministry of Health as soon as the arguments were done. But that has taken time, and we are about to make this emergency arrangement so that service delivery is not interrupted.
But the money, according to this letter from the National Treasury, dated the 28th of February, was indeed disbursed. The letter, signed by National Treasury Principal Secretary Kamau Thuge, states, quote, "The Ministry of Health has been considered for additional funding amounting to 1.6 billion shillings during this financial year to cater for the first phase of the implementation of the award."
There was absolutely no delay whatsoever, but it was a consultation because these allowances were awarded in the middle of the financial year.
Yeah.
The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers Secretary General George Kibore now says clinicians' patience is now slowly running out.
This is a negotiated allowances, must be paid. It does not come from anybody's pocket. And even if it means to go on strike, we will do that. But however, we want to wish them they don't have to wait until that time.
The dues also meant to include an emergency call allowance of 10,000 shillings is to affect morticians, radiographers, physiotherapists, and orthopedic technologists. And now, Kenyans may be close to facing yet another potential paralysis at public health institutions if clinicians make good their threat to down their tools. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
Now, the family of the late 8-year-old boy alleged to have met his death at school in Nandi County is being consoled by well-wishers who responded to the mother's cry after her story ran yesterday on KTN News. Well, here's Elvis Koskei with the details of that.
When little Stella Wangoi failed to return home on the evening of last Monday from tuition, panic hit her young family. It was the first time the little angel would leave and never come back, and this meant something was wrong. A search that will last for hours will finally bring out the unfathomable. The little girl perished in the most brutal and inhuman manner. She was found raped and killed at a next-door neighbor's house near their home in Mrima Likoni. And this is the man accused of killing the young girl, Manfred Odhiambo Otieno, brought to Mombasa lockouts today. His white shirt soaked in a pool of blood. He escaped death by a whisker. An angry mob had descended on him upon linking him to the murder. And just like the way he fought his way from the mob, he fights the glares of camera. Inside the court, Principal Magistrate Diana Mochache takes her position to listen to a case that has been packed with lots of emotions. Many here are keen to know which way justice. All the while, Manfred Odhiambo stood transfixed as the charges leveled against him were read. Justice Mochache ordered that the accused be taken for mental checkup, but this only serves to excite emotions in the court. A visibly emotional Mombasa woman representative Mishi Mboko, who made her way here, struggles to keep her cool. Justice Mochache will finally direct the detaining of the suspect for 10 days at Port Police pending investigations.
First, the doctor has to establish whether he is a normal person. Okay? So he has to go to a psychiatrist.
Outside the court, the late Stella's parents, Pauline Jerry and Samuel Mwangi, are too weak to walk, and friends support the duo who've undergone what's perhaps their toughest episode ever in their lives. Pauline is too shaken even to utter a word. Samuel Mwangi cannot understand how his supposed close friend and neighbor will allegedly inhumanly turn against their small angel.
Jamaa ndio amenipeleka kwa ripoti, tunasuguka, tukifika kwa OB ndio anatoa nini kamili, tukienda kwa kutangaza kwa feli. Yeye mwenyewe ndio tunasuguka na yeye, namnunulia chai jiani, anisaidie kufanya kazi, tunasuguka kote kote.
Shaken mothers from Likoni led by Mishi Mboko vent out their anger and they want justice served.
We have no words to express. We have been talking about this, Mr. President, each and every time. We have been doing demonstrations. We are doing each kind of things which we are supposed to do. But still, we don't see that justice. Mr. President and the Deputy President, we are talking to the judiciary.
The body of the late is currently lying at the Coast General Hospital, awaiting a post-mortem exam. Cases of sexual defilement have skyrocketed in the Likoni constituency. A recent report by the National Crime Research Center puts Mombasa ahead of 13 counties with 60% sampled in a recent research. Francis Ontomwa, KTN News, Mombasa.
All right, so that's Francis Ontoma reporting from Mombasa on that very devastating story of the little girl there. All right, so we want to take a break right now here on Friday Briefing, but remember on our big question tonight, we're asking you, does NASA seem to have a convincing strategy to unseat President Uhuru Kenyatta? That is our big question. We'd like to hear what you have to say about this. So text us, 22155 is the number, or hashtag Friday Briefing is what you can also reach me on social media. I'd be very happy to read what you have to say. I'm seeing quite a number of comments already coming through, and I will be sampling them shortly. So let's take that break. We'll be right back.